have a fine lady and gentleman joining us. In addition to my fine lady and gentleman, Japhet Aryiku, the Executive Director, W.E.B Du Bois Museum Foundation, and I also have Dr. Whitney Battle-Baptiste, the Director of the W.E.B Du Bois Center of UMass Amherst. I hope I got that right.
Yes.
Awesome, I got it right. So I've seen Du Bois, the campaigns, I've seen the museum from a distance, and today I really want us to be educated on what the movement is about, the understanding. First off, I see the name and I would have said Du Bois.
Du Bois.
Please educate us. Is that a mistake if anyone pronounces the name as such? Is it because it's a noun? And who is Du Bois before we get into the museum, the foundation, and everything you guys have coming up? First of all, thank you so much for making time and joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So for why is Du Bois and not Du Bois, and for all things specialized by Du Bois, I'll turn it to Whitney, who is an expert on Du Bois.
Why not Du Bois? I'm not sure. And we know Du Bois pronounced it Du Bois because of people who knew him, but also he spelled it out, and he spelled it D-U-B-O-Y-Z. This was way before hip hop, but he spelled it boys so that you would correct it, and maybe because he was from the U.S. I'm not sure, but from that, he was always known as Du Bois.
Du Bois.
Yes.
Okay. So who is or who was Du Bois, please?
Du Bois began, I would say, very humbly, but he was very focused on getting his education. And he was the first African American to get a PhD, a doctorate from Harvard University, which is the oldest university in the US, I believe. And that was a big accomplishment. But during his time, he also traveled to Germany and learned there and came back and eventually ended up at Clark Atlanta University, which is a historically black college in Atlanta, Georgia. And from there, he's a sociologist. He studied black life in the U.S. at a time when we were not being studied at all by pretty much anyone. So he has made a significant contribution to the history of Black Americans, as well as to the field of sociology. We learn about him in anthropology, history, a number of fields. His scholarship was extremely important in understanding the beauty of our race as opposed to the oppression. So
wow, he was up to a lot.
Yes.
I need to get my life together.
And he wrote many, many books.
Wow. Dr. Japhet, do you think the youth, right, the Gen Zs, the young people know as much as should be known? Because what she said there, the way she summed it up, is a lot. Seems very impactful. Like he studied. Do you think we know as much as we possibly could?
Not at all. Not at all. And that's the sad part of what's happening here in Ghana. So way back in 2014, 2015, I live in New York. I'm a Ghanaian, but I live in New York. And I work with a number of people who are Du Bois scholars, including Whitney, Kwame Appiah, Skip Gate at Harvard. These are people who are concerned about the legacy of Du Bois. And they brought it to our attention that the whole place is falling apart. The Du Bois Center is falling apart. And if there's something that we could do to revive it. So since 2014-15, we've been trying to get some kind of an agreement with the Ghana government to do something about the Du Bois Center. So whilst we're trying to do that, I will meet Ghanaians here in Ghana and ask them, when was the last time you were at the Du Bois Center? So I don't... And then they'll say, well, I know the Du Bois Center, but when they ask them what they went there to do, they went there to either for a party, a wedding, or a funeral, but not to go and visit the Du Bois Center to tour to find out who Du Bois was and all of that. So we have a big challenge on our hands to educate the Ghanaians about who Du Bois was, his contribution to Ghana's independence and Ghana's progress, the whole African continent emancipation, and all of that. So there's a lot of work that we think we have to do, the Du Bois Museum Foundation, that we have to do here in Ghana, and then spread it to the African continent and all in the diaspora. So it's very sad that the young people don't, even people of my age, don't know who Du Bois was and his contribution to Africa. So we have a lot of work to do.
How's it been so far in terms of the response and, you know, again, response, getting the word out there, reaching out to people and everything in between? How's it been so far?
Now, that's exactly what I was also going to ask, because I feel like whenever it comes to, you know, people Ghanaians especially, whenever it comes to our history, whenever it comes to stories, we just take what we're given in our textbooks, right? And so I'm like, the W.E. Du Bois we knew in our textbook is not the man that we're hearing about today. Maybe we heard how he contributed in his own little way, but then we're here to find out that there's more that he did that we don't know about. And so a lot of us are walking about not knowing, you know, what exactly went on. Are people, since you started this movement and trying to educate people, how ready, how available have people been to this movement to say, okay, I'm interested in finding out why I'm a Ghanaian and I have this amount of freedom? You know, how, I don't know
how we are
responding to
it. When we got to where we are.
Yeah, no, I think it's been very positive, particularly among the students. So as it's going to be happening on Wednesday. So since 2022, when we got involved with the Bois Center, we said that we need to let the center be known to the Ghanaian public. So there are two occasions that we celebrate and commemorate. The 23rd of February of every year marks his birthday. And for that occasion, we invite students from across the country for a symposium. And the symposium, we have a panelist of experts from the U.S. as well as Ghanaians that we assemble to talk about the life and works of Du Bois. And then the 27th of August, which marks his passing, we also have an event where we also have a symposium. Again, we invite experts on Du Bois to come and talk about the life and works of Du Bois. So we've been doing that for the past several years or so. And the response has been positive, very positive.
Wow.
People are curious now, they want to know more about Du Bois, and we're very excited about that and want to continue that the effort. So this Wednesday, we're having the 62nd anniversary of the passing of Du Bois here in Ghana on the 27th of August 1963. We have a number of Du Bois scholars that are coming in, including Whitney, who are going to be sharing their thoughts and their knowledge of Du Bois, who Du Bois was, educating us and sharing the life of Du Bois with the Ghanaian public. So we're excited about that, But it's been very positive. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I want to, so I'm usually I'm often the controversial one in the room.
Oh.
So, but
wow, announce yourself.
Welcome, sir.
But I just want to touch on something because I mean I know that W.E.B Du Bois, I say Du Bois sometimes, but was very emphatic about race and blackness. You know, he's famed for saying that the problem we have with the 20th century is the color line. Right, the color line. And one way that it manifests itself is through systemic oppression and, you know, and other things, economic disparity, you know, and right now one of the biggest problems we have as a people is the restrictions that have been laid on visa applications, for example, for people from African countries who are trying to get into the US for purposes of education, amongst other things, right? So I'm trying to find out that how does that perception about Africa, you know, as a continent of crisis rather than a continent of opportunity, how does it have an impact on the perception, and then also like opportunities out there for us to be able to tap into and then bring back here to develop our continent.
Our continent.
You didn't say anything controversial.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, usually it sounds like I'm saying something.
No, because I mean, if you think about, in some ways, Du Bois, for me, Du Bois is a connection, a thread from the U.S. to Africa, especially to Ghana, especially because he chose Kwame Nkrumah invited him to be here. He only lived here for a short time, but he's here and he's buried here, and he called this home, although he always longed to be in the US. Part of the reason why he left was because the disappointment that all the work that he had done and tried to do could not fight the systemic racism of Jim Crow. I mean, understand that he was born literally just after slavery ended and passed away at 95 on the eve of the March on Washington in 1963. Imagine living almost 100 years, seeing ups and downs, but in the end, you still see the oppression of people that look like you. And so it goes both ways in terms of African Americans understanding our relationship with the African continent, as well as hopefully the African continent looking to the diaspora and understanding that, imagine if we are together in a conversation in ways in which Du Bois wanted us to be together, that we would be so much more powerful. But not only that, he realized his own work was not enough, and he needed other people to do that work and carry it on. In one of his last letters, he said, whatever I've done, I've tried to do it well, and anything that is left to do, I leave to another generation. And so part of what is Du Bois, why are we still studying Du Bois? We're still studying Du Bois because racism still exists, systemic oppression still exists. And my country right now is in a rough spot. So restricting people from getting education has never been something we've done. Now it is. There are all kinds of ways in which actually African Americans are looking out to see other opportunities, because it is hard to see all of these things come back. Restrictions, being told that we cannot teach about race. We cannot teach things that make anyone uncomfortable. Our history in the United States is uncomfortable. So is colonialism, right? But if we do not understand it, what happens? It gets repeated. And so I would say that Du Bois is more relevant today, unfortunately, in 2025, as he was in his own time, and he passed in 1963.
Okay, so that would also lead me to find out, in being the ones who are carrying on, as Du Bois says, he's leaving it for the next generation, and we are the next generation, in fighting for some of the things, or the things that Du Bois, championed, like race, and knowing that is very valid in this particular generation. What are you doing or how are you helping push that narrative that he was pushing before? What are some of the things that you're doing? Also, because like you said, we're in a very challenging time where it's difficult to talk about some of these things because you're either avoiding getting cancelled, arrested, something of some sort. And so how is the fight, and what are you doing?
Yeah, for me, on our part, I know there are a lot of books and articles being written now about Du Bois. There's a whole revival on Du Bois' legacy that's going on, and I'm hoping that young people will read and be curious about it. But for us, for the Du Bois Museum Foundation, what we are trying to do, number one, is to rebuild that Du Bois Center that you see over there. We want to rebuild it into a vibrant museum complex, where we are going to have a museum that will talk and exhibit the 95-year life of Du Bois. We're going to build a library that will be stuck with Du Bois' books and papers and all of that, make it available for scholars to come and study and publish and write about the legacy of Du Bois and what he meant to the African continent and the whole diaspora. We are going to have his tomb, which is now in disrepair. We're going to build a nice mausoleum for him that people are going to come. So what we're trying to do here in Ghana is to make the Du Bois Center the mecca of all things Du Bois. People are going to come from all over the world to come and study and publish here. We intend to have a podcast in the studio, a studio podcast where we're going to be talking and educating the Ghanaian public about Du Bois, who he was and what he stood for. We have intention of collaborating with the Ministry of Education to have some curriculum in the Ghana school system that will have basic books that will tell the story of Du Bois and his effort to find the answers to the big question. The problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line, which we're still looking for answers for. And by the way, that's how I met Du Bois when I was 13 years old. I memorized that It's the first paragraph of the second chapter of Source of Black Folk, The Dawn of Freedom. I went to that library and I picked up the book, Source of Black Folk, a 14-year-old, 13-year-old African boy. I'm a little bit older. I wasn't taught English at home. So you can imagine how difficult it was for me to read that book. But for some reason, amazingly, on that 45-minute library period, I memorized that first paragraph. The problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line, the relation of the darker to the lighter skinned people, races of men in Africa, in Asia, and the islands of the Caribbean. I became a Du Bois scholar instantly. And it has stayed with me till now. And so I'm very excited about the fact that I'm now working to really promote the idea of Du Bois. And
I can say I know you too.
Yeah. I mean, since we're doing more Du Bois philosophy here, I want to ask a question. I think that the world is moving towards a multipolarized, like the world is multipolarized now, and he said something about double consciousness. I want to understand the concept at the time that he meant it and how it applies to today in the modern world, like double consciousness, dealing with all the things that we have to deal with aside of our race, dealing with other people's perceptions of us, and just basically the way the world is right now.
Yeah, double consciousness, living behind the veil. It's a way that I like to sum it up, and I just want to say really quickly, the way that I discovered Du Bois was in 1969 when my mom graduated college. The first thing she did was come to Ghana for a month following Du Bois. And so a lot of African Americans looked to Du Bois for inspiration, and Kwame Nkrumah at that time. Back to double consciousness. So imagine being a child who must learn white history, as in not my history, and then know everything about my own culture and my own history. And then how do you balance the two? Because you know that one is called standard, one is acceptable, one is not. Like now we have something called AAVE, which is an understood dialect of English, which actually means African American Vernacular English. At one point it was called not good English, right? It's not good. But there's certain ways in which we speak to each other that we understand as African Americans. And so it is our patois, it is our Creole, it is the way in which we communicate, and it is being recognized, but it is how we've communicated for generations and generations. I not only have to be a scholar, I'm an anthropologist, but also I started in Black Studies. And to be honest, you have to know both. And you have to know how to navigate both of those. For me, because I'm a little bit younger than Mr. Japhet here. So I'm from New York City, born and raised in the Bronx. So I'm a baby of hip hop, but I'm over 50. So I'm of the hip hop generation. For me, that double consciousness, I push my own way of being into what is supposed to be regular, right? And I really don't care if they don't like it. So that for me is a different type of double consciousness. It is a double consciousness when I look and I see the way hip hop is pulled away from our culture and is commercialized and all kinds of stuff like that. It kind of makes me sad sometimes, because I do know that that's that culture and we can't quite hold it on our own anymore. So that's what is happening today, I think. I think that we become popular, we become the way others want to be, and then at that moment, maybe we should remember Du Bois a little bit and take it back and make sure that the culture stays within us.
Yeah, I mean, would you like to say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah. What I want to understand is like the dynamics, right? Because like you said, you're raised in the Bronx, New York. Yeah, I haven't been there, but shout out to all my homies in the Bronx.
That's for life.
So shout out to the Bronx.
Okay.
For someone listening now, right, who's like, you're in America. So it's the land of the free. I want to go to America. I see all these things on TV. It looks so good. Quote unquote, there's no issues. Like I'm going through it. I'm in Africa, right? For someone who's there, who's seen both sides of the coin, in my mind, it's not about hate. It's about fighting for what you believe in. What would you tell that person? For example, he said something about, the visas And we had a conversation here, right? And again, it was two sides of the coin. And it was like, no, it's America. They're doing this because of their economy. You know, it's too many people. They can't survive on having too many people there, draining the system. So these conversations are coming up. When you're there and you come here, you study Du Bois and you see all these things, how does that make you feel? And what do you say to people who are on that side of the coin?
If you're economic reasons, it's not white people are being denied. I don't trust it. To be honest, I just don't trust it. And you can't tell me that it's a drain on our economy. We have over 10,000 books that have been banned in the last year. Banned books about black people, books about indigenous people, books about Latine folks. Why is this becoming something that our children are not exposed to in school? If you limit visas that people are coming in for our educational system becomes it becomes this part where we have to be double conscious, because the only history that is acceptable is the history that is accepted by our government. That's not a democracy. That's not a land of the free. That's a land of the dictated to, right? So I'm just, I guess I studied Du Bois. So in studying Du Bois was always considered controversial because he preached about, or he wrote and talked about the power of the people, right? The power of government from the very local. Forget the presidency, forget that. Actually, what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on with your police, what's going on. So there's a lot of people on the ground in the US that are trying their best to live a life that thrives as opposed to surviving. And I say this because anytime you're in a culture or a society that bans books, somebody is trying to hide something. Yeah. And so with that, I don't even know where to end this, because I get very emotional about this, because when I come to Ghana, and it's not my first time, but I've been here several times, but when I come to Ghana, I feel freer than I do when I'm at home. And I never thought I would say a statement like that. So yeah, I just said it. Yeah. So there you go.
So I think this morning we were having a conversation about how
you remembered.
Yeah, about how even African Americans sometimes don't feel like they're welcome or they're accepted here, or they belong in Africa. But I think that this morning we all share a unified front, with Du Bois at the center. Yep. So that being said, I want to know or understand how Africa and its diaspora can work together to challenge that mindset, to challenge the systemic oppression that we're facing, because I think that we all have a part to play in that, because that is why you are here, to sensitize the people, to educate them on the need for us to appreciate our blackness and to appreciate the fact that we are one people and we are no different than. So how do how can we work together to push that agenda? Also, you were mentioning a few things that you would want to do, including like introducing certain curricula, right, in the Ghanaian education system. I feel like all those things are long-term plans, and communication is the most essential part of this plan. And how do we intend to arouse or pique the interest of the youth who have no idea or probably have no interest in knowing stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I wrestle with it all the time. It's tough, but we are trying very hard, such as appearance on this station. You guys have been very kind. I think this is my third time coming here, and I know that you have a good base with the young people, and perhaps I'm hoping that they're listening and they're learning from our appearance here. We appeared on all the stations and all of that. So I think we just got started. We're only now beginning to make our presence known here in Ghana, especially at the Du Bois Center. We're working very hard to reach out with Terry, our PR person. He used to work with you guys, very, very good. And we have a plan to really penetrate the young population and let them know about the beauty of Du Bois' ideas and all of that. I wanted to make a comment on this double consciousness, which although he wrote about it in the US, in my generation, in my father's generation, when we were colonized by the British, okay, who were our superiors. So in order to get ahead, you have to sort of respect the British ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So one you're an African, you're a Ghanaian, and in another instant, you have to respect the white man's ways. And when I read about double consciousness, I thought about my father, my own father, who was of the older generation. We were the first black to integrate a white bungalow in Dunkwao.
Oh, wow.
Yep, the first black to integrate a white bungalow in Dunkwao. My father worked in the mines. And so when we got there, my dad would say, don't make any noise. No, these are white, don't make any noise. So, it's like we were restricted in our own country.
Yeah.
We were restricted. Then my father joined the white club. Only black people to join the club. I go to the club, I'm playing, and the white people come and take the ball away. No, you can't make too much noise. So this whole double consciousness, I lived through it. Yeah. My dad lived through it. You guys are free because you never lived through that, because by the time you guys were born, we're independent.
Yeah.
But think about the way that our generation, my father's generation, my generation lived in the colonial time. So the double consciousness is something that permeates all of Africa, how we're subjugated to the white rules and all of that. But back to your question, indeed, we have a lot of work to do. I always say we have a lot of work to do. And I need all of you to partner with us to get a message across that we are still looking for the answers. Even within our own country, there's a color line even within our own country. Yeah, you know that. Within our country, there's color line. So let's all band together and know that there is a new world out there that we can create, that we can make this world a better place. I was talking to Whitney just before we came in that Trump is taking credit for resolving the fight between Rwanda and the Congo, 30-year fight between Rwanda and Congo. They went and signed an agreement in Washington about 3 weeks or a month ago. Sideline the African Union. Yeah. You mean to tell me that the African Union could resolve the problem of the Congo and Rwanda? They have to go to Washington. Trump is taking credit for that. Wow. Yeah. What are we about? Yeah. What is the relevance of the African Union? Yeah. So anyway, we have a lot of work to do, and I need all of you, especially this young station that reach out to young people, to preach and to come to the Bois Center. Just come, young people, to come and visit the Bois Center and learn about W.E.B Du Bois.
I think the reason for a lot of young people not having the interest, some people do have an interest because maybe it was birthing them at a very young age. Others don't have an interest because African politics has always been about, I would say, unnecessary things. I'd categorize all of it under one thing: unnecessary things. And people feel like you only go into politics if you're looking to make a life for yourself or looking to make profits. And then by that extension, it affects some of these things that we have to know to sort of boost our own consciousness and then our world view, especially of black people and our role in all of this. And I think that we owe it to the next generation, as the current generation also, to be able to inform and educate them, on the importance of having an understanding of what it is or what it means to be a black person, especially in today's world, because it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. And then you would think that years down the line, it will get easier, but it seems like it's only getting difficult by the day. So I think
the problems are evolving.
Yes,
I think that I'm listening to you guys, and this conversation makes you want to read more and understand, for those who don't. And I'm sure our listeners right now on Plus 89.9 and 3 Music Television interests are going to be piqued. Okay,
hopefully.
No, some will. Some will. Because one thing I've learned about life is learn, experience, read, try to understand before I don't think anybody's born a racist.
Yeah.
I don't think any human being is born a racist, white or black. I'm mixed, right? These things are probably taught, they're instilled. But anyways, this is why, these two amazing people are here. So my interest is very, very piqued. I'm going to read more into this, and I'm sure you guys are too. And probably one trip is going to the museum. You take me along.
No, I will take the two of you along.
Now, you guys have an event coming up again, which we're going to get into. But before that, I want to give a big salute to our amazing sponsors. Bang & Olufsen Atelier, they want you to experience sound like never before, where you become a part of the craft. Now, you design your own bespoke audio masterpiece or select from exclusive creations tailored to your style. Whether it's a speaker, it might seamlessly fit into your space, or a statement piece that turns heads. If you can imagine it, then you can definitely hear it. Discover more with Bang & Olufsen at our shop at the Atlantic Towers, Airport City, Accra. Bang & Olufsen Atelier, you dream it and we craft it. Now you can contact 0201-694-341. Again, 0201-694-341.
Okay, now I'm all about the rewards, and it's time to get rewarded as the next big sports betting influencer with Betway. Now place your bets and share codes with friends, fans, and followers. If they place bets using your code, you earn 4% of their wager. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. If they bet, you earn cash, and the more people that bet with your code, the more you earn. So of course, start betting, sharing, and winning with Bet Influencer, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way always. Please bet the responsible way. Again, bet the responsible way. Betway gets way more.
Okay, we also have something from Pepsodent Charcoal, because every time we eat, food and sugars get trapped between our teeth, leading to decay, gum disease, and in some cases, halitosis or foul breath. Brushing your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal Toothpaste helps, because Pepsodent Charcoal is made of a fine blend of fluoride with a unique combination of natural charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to whiten your teeth, strengthen them, and remove bad odor from your mouth. Now, charcoal white gently polishes away the tooth stains and naturally restores your bright smile. For our herbal lovers, you can try Pepsodent Herbal Toothpaste, which is infused with a unique blend of green tea and herbal extracts formulated to repair and protect your gums while giving an all-round cooling sensation. Pepsodent Herbal releases, repairs, and protects gum tissue while giving you strong teeth. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent has been educating Ghanaians on how to brush your teeth for 25 years. Pepsodent is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association and gives you the opportunity to talk to a dentist for free. All you have to do is call toll-free number 0800-161-000, to talk to a dentist for free. You can also get Pepsodent at any shop near you. Call our customer care or call their customer care center on toll-free number 0800-200030. 0800-20030. Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Yes. Now, like I said, you guys have an event coming up. It relates to the passing, of Du Bois. Please educate and enlighten us on the event, how we can get there. Is everybody invited? Are there going to be special features or guests for anybody who's interested in coming to that?
Wonderful, thank you. Yeah, so this Wednesday, the 27th.
Just 2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days from now. Yeah, the 27th of August, which will mark the 62nd anniversary of the passing of Du Bois. We are going to have a symposium that will start at 2:00 in the afternoon. I know it's a weekday, unfortunately, but I'm hoping that more people will come. So it's a symposium, again, opportunity to talk about the life and works of Du Bois. So we have a lineup of what the man that I call the Dean of the Du Bois Scholars, Dr. David Lewis, Reverend Lewis. Yeah. He has written fantastic book. In fact, he won back-to-back Pulitzer Prize for nobody has ever done that for the same subject, back-to-back. Dr. Lewis is going to be here on the panel. We're also we'll have Dr. Jonathan Holloway. Jonathan Holloway is a media past president of Rutgers University, the largest public university in New Jersey. He's going to be also a Du Bois scholar. He's going to be on the panel. Dr. Whitney is going to be on the panel as well, and some other great people from Ghana as well to talk about, again, the life of Du Bois. After that, we'll have an exhibition on the life of Du Bois in Ghana. Yeah. Now, the Bois Center, if you go there right now, there's nothing's happening there. You just go to the tomb and the bungalow. We decided to add some flavor to the place. Now, Du Bois was here from 1961 to 1963. The wife was here from 61 to 66. They did something. They have a life here in Ghana. So we've assembled pictures and other stories of their life here in Ghana, which is going to be fantastic. People that have seen it already are praising it. We are going to launch it officially for the general public on Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
All this is on Wednesday.
All that's going to happen Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And then we're going to have a wreath laying with a member of Du Bois, the Ghana government, the Bois Museum Foundation, the U.S. Embassy is coming to lay a wreath as well, and the family of Du Bois as well. So, and then after we're going to have some dinner. So everybody's invited. We're all invited to come and listen and hear about the works of Du Bois as a beginning of our effort to educate the Ghanaian public of who Du Bois was.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great.
Yes, when I come here, they make me work a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, before we go, we talked about the visa issues, and I mean the U.S. Embassy is going to be at the wreath laying, of course, you know, and so I don't know.
Whitney, it's like you want them there? No,
it's fine.
It's okay. Okay.
You know, so I don't know what role the foundation or you guys are going to play in probably starting conversations around that whole situation, and also we mentioned the whole Trump taking credit for resolving the conflict,
Rwanda and
Congo conflict. So it brings me to the AU, right? Because we're not trying to say. It makes it look as if the AU is obsolete. Yes, in the dispensation of its duties as a body, right? So I want to find out how organizations like the AU, probably the United Nations, because they're also a broader body in terms of their reach, and then how they contribute to peace, world peace, and all of that, how they can also come on board in terms of reshaping the narrative, about the African, about the black people, about the oppression that we face and all the challenges that we face.
Yeah, well, we've been reaching out to the AU. So far, we haven't been very successful in having a meeting with them, but we're reaching out to the AU. We think they will come on board because if you read the history of the emancipation of the African continent, Du Bois was instrumental in terms of educating and helping and mentoring the young Africans in England at that time. Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Kamuzu Banda. These are young people in the UK studying. He mentored them all. He said, go back to the continent, fight for the liberation of the continent. So we want to get the AU to support us. We haven't quite succeeded yet, but we're working on that. The United Nations is a broader organization. I live in New York. We've been trying to have some meetings with them as well. We think they can come on board because, after all, Du Bois was a peace-loving person. He belonged to the peace movement. He fought for racial equality. He fought for justice, liberation of oppressed people. 1945, at the start of the League of Nations, he, as a representative of NAACP, went to San Francisco and he advocated for independence for India. India, he made a big speech at the UN, at the League of Nations, advocating for independence. So he's someone who's sort of he abhorred injustices and on oppression, and so it's a good story for young people to learn. And we're gonna have a good time on Wednesday. So I hope everybody can come.
One thing, I'd also like to, and I really like the word you used there, use peace and injustice.
Absolutely,
I really like that. That's the ultimate thing. It's not about hate or fighting anybody. It's about knowing that we all deserve to live a good life and respect each other.
That's it.
I want to know if there are any young people who are tuned in, right, who want to intern, who want to help, because there's so many creative people who are like, I want to be a part of this.
Sure.
How do they become a part? Do you have to reach out to a number? Is there an email? Is there an organization that they can reach out to?
Yeah, no, we have a whole staff. We're assembling a staff at the Bois Center. In fact, Terry, your own Terry, is a big part of our organization. He's the one who's leading our PR effort. So for those who know him, you can get in touch with him. We also have a website, www.WEBDBMF.org.
Okay.
But if you Google Du Bois Foundation, it will come up. and encounter them. We look for, there's so much we have to do. Research, for example. We're doing a lot of research here in Ghana just to find out where are the places that the boys live and visited. We know certain places, but we don't know all of the answers. So if there are people out there who are interested in working with us, they can come on as interns.
So anyone who's interested in research?
Absolutely. Research in particular is what we're looking for. We're looking for, it's very painful. We go to a graphic, there's no information there. We're going all the way to the UK. Now, talking about the visa issue, we have a big problem with the visa issue as well. Last year, when I came on board, I told all of my staff that you can't work at the Du Bois Center and talk about Du Bois without yourself being exposed to the challenges of being a black person in America. So all of them will have to have exposure to the U.S. Last year, 6 of our staff easily got visas, okay, because we work directly with the American Embassy. Now, the American Embassy is very happy, at least the previous ambassador, very happy about what we are trying to do, because he's saying that this is a good indication initiative between Ghana and the U.S., trying to honor the hero of both American. And so 6 of our employees went to the U.S. They did a tour. They went to Alabama, Montgomery. They went to Selma. They got exposed to the civil rights movement, fight, and all of that. This year, we're trying to get 7 of them to go. Every one of them was turned down on the visas.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And we wrote to them that the 6 people that went came back. All of them came back. And they're all happy. They're working. They're using their knowledge to help us, rebuild the place up.
They wanted to go.
Okay, 7 of our employees got turned down. So I wrote to the ambassador, anyway, but I think we're getting some traction. So hopefully we're going to meet with them on Wednesday and make the case again. But we're having issues ourselves.
Wow. I would say don't give up. Just keep trying. Because and I get it, the idea that in the US and America everything is great and there's opportunity but to understand and for the staff from the Museum Foundation or the Du Bois Center to come and visit very, very key museums like the Civil Rights Museum, there are museums that talk about lynching in the U.S. All kinds of we've had a rough time as black people in America.
Yep.
But I would say that this is what you're talking about is really crucial, because almost thank goodness that they came, because now we have things being taken out of our museums that don't, like literal artifacts being taken out of the museum because the museum has gone too far with the history telling. And that to me is extremely scary, because it's not just books, it's not just museums, what that expands to, and then you limit people from coming. The United States is richer for all of the people that come. We are a nation of immigrants, as what I grew up understanding. Some of us voluntarily, some of us non-voluntary. But at the same time, when you limit the ability for people to come and share their own culture with the folks in the United States, it creates a richer space. It creates a place where people understand each other and they prosper. When you limit that, I feel like it cuts you off from the world. And I know that as a African diasporic descendant, I am someone who is a descendant of slavery, that I understand that it is important for me to understand my tie to the continent. Regardless of me not knowing exactly where my folks are from, it doesn't matter. My folks are from the Caribbean as well as the African continent. And when you begin to pull back that history, you begin to lose your connections to the world. And I think, again, like I said, we would all be much richer if we understood those connections and those ties beyond Afrobeat, that is.
But I mean, still on what you're saying, I think on the flip side, if you're looking at this situation, it shows how powerful all these things are, and no one will try and take anything out of the museum or stop books if it wasn't that powerful. And know exactly what it could do. So I totally get it with the not giving up. We all need to come together and fight harder, so that we can keep all the artifacts in the museum, keep all the stories, and give better access to whatever books or articles are there that will tell our stories. Because if you look at it, and when you say Africans, right, or African Americans, like, it's broad, and
so broad.
They are scared of us, really. Honestly, it's just exciting to find out. And big congratulations to you and all the work you're doing. It's really heartwarming to hear all of this. Really.
Thank you.
Doctor say we have to try and go. So
No, I'm actually looking forward to getting on board. Like with so because I'm like really interested in research and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So
nice. Also, there's an exhibition before you guys leave us. Can you please also enlighten us on that?
Yeah. Well, the exhibition, like I said, Du Bois was here from 61 to 63. The wife continued to live to 66. So the question is, what did they do? Where did they visit? How did they live? Well, we've done some research and we've come up with some pictures and stories of their life here in Ghana. That small window that they were here. So we're going to unveil that exhibition on Wednesday. I don't want to give too much away, but it's fantastic. It's just great. We have the tribute that Kwame Nkrumah gave when Du Bois passed away. We have some of the telegrams that Kwame Nkrumah received when Du Bois passed away from China and from other places and all that. We have the reinterment. He was originally buried in the castle, and then they moved him from the castle to the Du Bois Center where he is now. We have pictures of how the reinterment took place. It's some fantastic pictures that you guys will enjoy when they come there to see.
Thank you guys so much for making time and joining us. My interest, I know like a lot of listeners' interest has certainly been piqued, and I love the fact that it's open on Wednesday. So if you want to go and learn, educate yourself. What time exactly?
Okay.
What time is the door open?
So the symposium starts at 2:00.
Okay.
And then the exhibition, show note or exhibition starts at 4, and then from 4 to about 5 or 6, and then there's a little dinner that we're going to have at the center.
Okay. Okay. So that's on the screen there.
On
I'm
the
sure it's
screen
all over social media. You can Google it. You can get all the information. Thank you guys again so much for making time and joining us. Big salute to Kojo Trip in the house, Amy, AC, my producer, Devi, of course. It's been an amazing time. We're going to be here same time tomorrow from 7 to 10 a.m. on Plus 89.9 FM and 3 Music Television, as you can see right now. Thank you so much for making time with us. Have a good one.